Ever since you were young, I'm sure you've heard this question that adults always ask, which is, what do you want to be when you grow up? And maybe you've always had a quick answer to this question, or maybe you've always dreaded this question because you genuinely have no idea. Hey, it's Bo, your niche school counselor, and today I welcome you to this video on how to choose a college major. This video should help you understand which factors to consider as you explore your options for different college majors. This is a really exciting time in your life, and it's important that you make the right decision when it comes to your education. So in this video, we're going to cover everything that you need to know about majors, all the way from what they are to how to choose one that is right for you. So let's get started. Before we jump into how to actually choose a college major, you first need to understand what it actually is. A college major is a specific area of study in which you are planning to specialize. Think of it like this. It's what you plan to focus on and become somewhat of an expert in. There are so many different types of college majors to choose from depending on the college that you will attend. So they can be very broad, like English or business, or you can get very specific and choose something like biochemical engineering or wildlife biology. Whatever you choose, the classes that you take in college are determined by your major. Your major will have what is known as a degree plan, and that is basically an outline of all of the courses that you need to take in order to fulfill the requirements for that specific degree. Every major will have a different plan that requires certain classes, so that way you learn the specific skills to begin and prepare for a career within that field of study. And typically you will start taking these more specific courses after you complete a certain number of general education courses. To put it in perspective, just think about high school. You would take English, math, science, social studies, and then every year you would also have elective. In college, you will still have your general core class requirements, but once those are taken care of towards your junior and senior year of college, your schedule will be mostly filled up with your more specific major courses. To give you my personal example here, I majored in psychology, so my freshman year schedule looked like this: English 102, biology, public speaking, and tech apps. Whereas my junior year schedule looked a little bit more like this: industrial organizational psych, research, abnormal psych, and clinical psych. As you can see, my schedule later on in my college years was much more specialized, so I could learn more specifics within my major career field. College majors are really designed to allow you to delve deeper into a particular subject and really develop a strong, comprehensive understanding of its principles, theories, methodologies, and applications. The structure and requirements of majors will vary depending on which college you attend and which major you select. Keep in mind that there are so many possibilities within any given major. For example, let's say you are interested in majoring in something within the arts. There are options to do that at a typical four-year college, or you can actually go to an arts-specific school to get an even more specialized education. And taking that even further, you can even choose to major in art history or arts administration. There are so many different decisions to be made when you're selecting your major, so it's important to really do your research to determine which pathway is actually right for you. If you're curious about certain majors and what will be required for each one, I encourage you to check out specific colleges' websites, look up the degree plan for the major that you're considering, and see which courses you will be required to take. Generally, they will have the core courses listed along with the major-specific courses. So the core courses are typically intended to provide a foundation of knowledge and skills necessary for advanced study within your major. This may be why you see a lot of math courses if you are thinking of pursuing an engineering major, because the advanced engineering courses may require a lot of math skills in order for you to be successful. Once you meet your core courses and major requirements on top of any other credits required by your college, you will be awarded your final degree, a bachelor's degree. Some students may even choose to double major. To make that happen, they will follow the degree plan for each major that they are trying to obtain. There are some double majors that might be easier to accomplish because the courses may overlap between the degree plans, but either way, students do have the freedom to choose whatever works best for them. You can also minor in another field of study, and a minor is basically just a secondary area of specialization that doesn't require the full amount of coursework that a major does. It's not required to obtain a minor during your collegiate experience, but some students may find that having a certain minor could help them in some way with their future career plans. Or maybe for some students, it's just an area of interest that they want to explore while they're in college. Now that you have an understanding of what a major is and what it means in terms of your classes, let's talk about why it's important to take some time to choose the right major. Choosing a major may be one of the most important decisions that you will make as a student, as it can really set you up for success within your career pathway. Remember, your major is a specialty or the subject area that you are deemed somewhat of an expert in after graduation. Your college major is really intended to provide you with the pathway into your future career. For example, if you major in journalism, ideally you would have taken several classes where you're actually filming yourself reading off the news, and that way you can build this integrated video library to send off to news stations in order to help you find a news anchor position when you graduate. For many majors, the goal is to actually help lead you into the jobs that you are hoping to land. So your choice of major really can have a significant impact on your future career options. Although your major choice can be very specific to your future career, there are many career fields that students can enter regardless of major choice. As you make your way into the real world, you may find that there is a lot of flexibility in terms of various career pathways. Your major choice and your career decisions truly are what you make of that. The key is to identify which major will help you break into the field that you want. And also, you want to make sure you understand what you're getting into before it's too late. You don't want to realize your senior year of college that your major isn't really right for the career pathway that you want. You can always change your major, but that typically entails going back to take extra classes to fulfill the new major requirements. So you might be wondering, what happens if you get to your junior or senior year and you realize that you chose the wrong major for the career that you want? Don't panic, it's not always impossible to pivot and land your dream job. Many industries will hire employees from a variety of majors. To go back to my earlier example, let's say that you majored in journalism and you gradually learned that you don't want to be a journalist after all. The skills that you developed in your major courses can definitely apply to other jobs. Those skills will have set you up for a career within communications, public relations, or marketing, just to name a few related fields. It may be harder to break into a certain industry if your major isn't a perfect fit, especially if it's something technical like engineering. But there are often other ways to gain relevant experience and build transferable skills. It just may take more time, money, and effort. So now that you understand what a major is and why it's so important to do your research, let's get into the factors that you should consider when you're choosing one. Whether you are undecided about your future career or you think that you already have that part figured out, the first step in choosing a major is to really ask yourself some basic questions and consider a few important factors. Your major is really a great way to explore your interest and your passions further, and it will be great not only for your career path and your education, but it can also lead to a lot of personal growth during your college years. If you're unsure which career you want to pursue, it's really important that you take a minute to reflect on your interests, your passions, and your strengths closely. What are you good at? What do you love to do? What kind of career do you envision for yourself? Write down your answers to these questions and use them as a starting point for your major selection process. Keep in mind though that the beginning of your college years is typically spent taking those general core classes that we talked about earlier. You don't necessarily have to declare a major right at the start of your freshman year. However, if you do want to graduate in 4 years, then it will be helpful to choose a major sooner rather than later. And most colleges will require you to declare a major by your junior year, typically at the latest. If you're really not even sure where your interests lie, then I would recommend taking career interest inventories and personality tests just to get some ideas going. I remember taking these in high school, and honestly, honestly, sometimes they were pretty close to the careers that I could actually consider for myself, and other times they were the complete opposite of any career I would ever imagine for myself. So evaluating your gut initial response to these options presented can really be helpful as you review these various possibilities. Are you feeling an inclination to explore some over others? Or are you instantly saying no to some of these careers or options that they are giving you? And if you are saying no, then why are you saying an immediate no to this career? Taking the time to really ask yourself these questions and evaluate your feelings may be great in terms of narrowing down the options that you really see for yourself. Those of you who are unsure should also consider your values and the future lifestyle that you want. Maybe you have no idea what industry you see yourself in, but maybe you do know that you enjoy working outdoors or you enjoy being mobile and you envision a career being outdoors. Asking yourself different questions about what type of work environment you think you'd prefer is important. When I got my master's, I went through a program where there were a couple different routes you could take within counseling. One of the routes was private practice within counseling, which I knew most likely meant that I would have to work in the evenings or the weekends when other people were off work in order to attend the counseling sessions. So this was not ideal for me because I knew I wanted a 9-to-5 type of position. I'm social, I enjoy my evenings and my weekends with friends, but for you, maybe you would want to work odd hours, or maybe you do want a variable schedule, or maybe you know you want something in some type of position that involves traveling. Every person is different, so considering your lifestyle when choosing your major will go a long way towards your personal career satisfaction and happiness. If you are on the other side of this and you believe you already know which career you are pursuing, then I think an important thing to ask yourself is what majors will help you the most in terms of that path. It may not necessarily be what you are thinking, so taking the time to research the majors that lead to certain careers is still an important step. For example, if you are considering becoming a lawyer, you will be required to continue on to law school. Many students might believe that they have to become a government major or political science major if they want to apply to law school, but in reality, you have so many more options. Students majoring in English, physics, or psychology can all go study law after graduating and eventually become a lawyer. Those various majors will even help you pursue a certain specialty if you know what kind of lawyer you want to be. Another scenario in which you'd want to closely consider your major is when you are focused on a very specialized career. Let's say you know you want to become an engineer and you're more interested in working out on the field on something like bridges. It may be more helpful to research the specific field of engineering that would lead you into this type of career. In your research, you'll probably find that civil engineering will be more aligned with your specialization than something like chemical engineering. It's also really important to think about the job market. Do some research on the actual job outlooks and salaries in your chosen field to ensure that you will be likely to find a job that is not only financially stable, but satisfying in terms of your desired lifestyle when you graduate. This could be as simple as researching on different career sites like Indeed, LinkedIn, or Glassdoor. You can search for entry-level positions in the career that you're interested in and check out their average starting salaries. Considering the financial aspect of your college education will be useful as many students want to know what the return of investment is on their college education. Making sure to also think through the long-term financial implications of your chosen major, such as student loan repayments and potential salary levels. Lastly, don't be afraid to explore and try new things. Consider taking classes or extracurricular activities outside of your comfort zone just to broaden your perspective and discover new interests. You never know what you might end up enjoying. Your college experience is really meant to be a time of growth and self-discovery, so take advantage of all of the opportunities that are available to you throughout your college years. Keep in mind that the majority of students enter college either undecided or they might change their major at some point. If that's you, then it's more than okay. Sometimes it really takes a while to figure out what you want to do. My best advice for those of you who find yourself in this situation is to talk to your academic advisor, your professors, or people that are already in the careers that you're considering. Also, make sure to check out the career service department at your future college. They have a lot of helpful resources and tools for all students, whether you are completely decided on your future career or even if you have no idea what you want. Another important reminder is to consider the future demand for your desired career or major. Think about our journalism example from earlier. 20 years ago, there was a much higher demand for print journalism. And now that has kind of shifted over to online and social media blog type format compared to that old school print journalism. That doesn't mean that print journalism doesn't exist anymore. It just means that it has evolved, and it's important to really consider those factors when you're choosing a career path. We know that there are a lot of careers that are always going to be considered essential, and those are often your public service careers such as healthcare or law enforcement or teaching. The demand for careers that are considered essential will always be there, meaning that it could make it easier to find positions after you graduate. Non-essential careers may be a little bit more variable, making it harder to find a position right after graduation. Taking the time to really look at the job market will help you create realistic expectations for after you graduate college. It can be stressful planning out all of these things, but it's definitely important to do. You know you're going to spend a lot of time in the career field that you end up choosing, and you don't want to be stuck in a job that is going to leave you unhappy or unfulfilled at the end of the work week. If you're already ready to jump into your research, you should head over to Niche. We have major pages that are filled with information to help you get started. If you head over there, you can find the major descriptions, and you can also view our rankings for the top colleges within that specific major. That is a very important step because you want to make sure that you are applying to colleges that offer your major as an option. Well, that's it. I hope you found this video informative and useful. Choosing a major is a big decision, but it doesn't have to be super daunting. Just take your time, reflect on your interest, research potential job prospects, and take advantage of those resources available to you when you get to college. Also, don't be discouraged if you still don't know what you want to do for the rest of your life. Many other students also don't know, and that's totally okay. Don't be afraid to change your mind if you head off to college and find that your major isn't the right fit for you. We call that a pivot in life. And being able to pivot in life is a great skill to have. Remember, college is a time of growth and exploration, and the possibilities are endless. Thanks for watching, and I hope this helped.